no one ever questioned Adama's beauty until the night screams echoed from her mansion. That night, the entire suburb of Euphoria Gardens was shaken. The sound that came from Adama's grand compound was unlike anything anyone had heard before. It wasn't just a cry, it was a wail so haunting that people froze in their homes, their hearts pounding with fear. It seemed to come from deep within, as though the earth itself was groaning. The city, usually full of the noise of cars and distant chatter, fell silent. The scream echoed across the streets, bounced off the tall walls of Adama's mansion, and rippled through the...
Hey, how are you guys doing? It's been long.
Cursed. That eye on your forehead, it's evil. You're not welcome here. Tomba stepped back, her eyes full of tears. But I'm your child too. Leave before the villagers see you. Tomba stood there, broken. Her heart felt like it had been torn
Hi,
into
Anton.
pieces.
Привет.
Inside a small hut near the edge of the village, a woman was crying. She wasn't crying because someone beat her. No, she was crying because she was in labor. Her stomach was shouting louder than the town crier. Her name was Toba, the wife of a local palm wine tapper known as Parjaka. Now Parjaka was not rich, but he had love in his heart and strong legs that could climb the tallest palm tree.
Hi, sweetie. Looking good. Thank you.
He was dancing around the fire, waiting for the sound of a baby's cry. After hours of pushing and shouting and pouring cold water, it happened. First baby Tina came out, soft like pounded yam and beautiful like the morning sun. She cried loud and clear like she was telling the world, I have arrived. Then something happened. Another baby is coming, the village midwife shouted. Pachaka's eyes widened like someone who just saw a ghost dancing shaku shaku. The second baby came out. But this one was not ordinary. She had 3 eyes. Yes. 1, 2, 3.
Coconut.
The third eye was right in the middle of her forehead, blinking slowly, like it was trying to greet everybody in the room. Everyone froze. Even the lantern light began to flicker, like it was scared too. Ayaka screamed and jumped back, almost hitting his head on the mud wall. The mother, weak and sweaty, looked at the baby and whispered, What?
I'm from
is
Kenya,
this?
Larry.
The midwife couldn't talk. She just carried the baby, wrapped her gently in cloth, and handed her to Parjaka like she was passing hot yam. Parjaka looked at his child. One part of him was scared.
What's new?
The other part was
How's
confused.
Georgia?
The third part was just hungry
Still working.
because he hadn't eaten since morning. They
Hello
named
from
the three-eyed
New
baby
Orleans.
that same
Hi.
night, something
From
terrible
Bahamas.
happened. A
I
strange
love Bahamas.
creature flew over the village. It had wings as big as a canoe, with fire coming
Bahamas,
out its mouth.
Barbados.
It made a sound like "Woo, wah." Villagers ran under their beds. Children cried. Goats jumped into people's rooms. Even the village drunk, Baba Madhu, sobered up immediately. The next morning, a message spread faster than sweet gossip. Did you hear? Yes. The palm wine tapper's wife gave birth to a baby with 3 eyes. No wonder that fire-breathing bird came to our village last night.
I just love Bahamas, Barbados.
Near Pajaka's hut. Some
That's
were
all.
peeping through windows. Others climbed trees just to get a good look. Soon, the king heard the news. Send for them, the king shouted, adjusting his red cap. When Parjaka, his wife, and the babies arrived at the palace, everyone was whispering. Some were even praying with one eye open.
I'm not
The king
single.
looked at baby Tomba and dropped his royal staff. This is not ordinary, he said slowly. Now I understand why that creature flew over our village. He stood up and pointed at Mama Toba. You and your babies must leave this village immediately. Everyone gasped. But she's just a child, Mama Toba cried. I don't care, the king barked. She will bring us bad luck. Take her away. Far away into the
Can I
bush.
eat you?
And the twin and you may return or visit.
No.
But the one with the third eye must never step foot in this village again. Mama Toba fell on her knees, holding Tomba close. Please, Your Highness, please. The king shook his head and turned away. That night, Payaka wiped his tears, tied his wrapper tightly, and prepared his old bicycle. He placed Mama Toba on the seat with the twins tied to her back and chest. Then he pushed the bicycle slowly out of the village into the dark night, the frogs croaking like they were singing a funeral
Thank
song.
you.
They reached the next village by morning. It
Yeah,
was
thank
called
you.
Oja. At first, the people smiled and gave
It's
them water.
coconuts.
But when they saw Tomba's face, their smiles disappeared like gari inside hot water. This child is a demon, one woman said. She even has an extra eye. Who knows what that eye sees? Another man shouted, take her away before she turns our wells into blood. Mama Toba wept again. Pajaka didn't say anything. He just turned the bicycle around and rode away. They tried another village, and another one. Everywhere they went, they heard the same thing. Go away with your demon child. Finally, Pajaka sat under a mango tree and sighed. His beard was full of dust, his feet were tired, and his wife was almost giving up. My love, he said, holding her hand gently, let us stay in the bush, close to our village, just for now. I will build us a small hut, and we'll figure out what to do later. Mama Toba looked at him with tired eyes. She nodded. And so Pajaka became the first man to
I am
build
from
a
Kenya.
house in the bush. Not because he wanted to farm, but because he had no other choice. With his hands, he gathered mud, bamboo sticks, and old roofing sheets. He built a small hut with one room, no window, and a door that kept falling off. They cooked with firewood, bathed in the
Thank
river,
you.
and covered the baby's third eye when they heard animals passing. 3 days later, Pajaka packed some gallons of fresh palm wine and walked back to the village. Let me sell wine and bring money home, he said, smiling with hope. But when he got to the market, people scattered like chickens who saw Pepper. Isn't that the man with the three-eyed child? Don't buy his wine. He brought a curse to the land. Nobody bought a single drop. Pajaka carried his wine and walked back to the bush, his heart heavy. Even my palm wine is now jobless, he said to himself. What kind of wahala is this? And as he entered the bush that evening, tired and frustrated, a voice called from the hut. It was that of his wife. Papa, twins, you didn't even make a single sale. Payaka stared at her, and then he smiled. They continued living in the bush like that.
Unapaka nini kwa uso na glow? Mimi.
The hut Pajaka
Firstly.
built was small, made with mud and thatched roof, but it kept them safe from the rain and sun. Wild animals sometimes passed near their hut at night, but Pajaka always stayed awake with a stick beside him. He would sit by the door, looking around, making sure nothing would harm his family. When the twins turned 1 year old, they had nothing to celebrate with. No party, no new clothes, and no visitors except for Pajaka's friend Baba Lami. Baba Lami was one of the very few people who still came to see them. He was an old man with white beards and a kind smile. He usually came with a bag of food, sometimes yam, sometimes maize, and sometimes dried fish. Don't worry, my friend, Babalani would say. This storm will pass one day. Pajaka always smiled and thanked him, but deep down, he was tired and sad. Life in the bush was not easy. He had to tap palm wine every day and carry it into the village to sell, but nobody wanted to buy from him again. They said he was the father of a demon child, the one with 3 eyes. Sometimes he cried quietly at night while holding little Tomba in his arms. One night, everything changed. That night, the moon was full and bright. The forest was quiet. Tomba had already slept, and Pajaka was lying
Look
beside
what
him.
I've done.
His wife, Mama Tomba, sat in a corner pretending to sleep. Around midnight, when the bush was quiet and even the insects were silent, Mama Tomba stood up slowly. She carried Tenna, the twin with a normal face, and tiptoed outside. She didn't look back. She didn't say goodbye. She just walked into the darkness, carrying only a wrapper and her baby. A few hours later, Tomba woke up, crying for breast milk. Hmm? Ayaka rubbed his eyes. Where is your mother? He looked around the hut. She was not there. He rushed outside, calling her name. Mama Tomba? Mama Twins? Where are you?